get this repaired as quickly as possible. So we'll go through all of the forensics as to what bridge inspections may have shown at that time. I will say though that just looking at the pins that are where there is a critical issue there, there has to be a break at some point, right? So did that break occur before? Was it missed? Did that break occur afterwards? We'll figure that out forensically afterwards, but right now we're very focused on getting the bridge opened again. And I think it was a question on spelling my name.
Saying your name.
Yeah, saying my name. Shailen Batt, and I'm the Federal Highway Administrator.
How long would it take to do a replacement, ballpark?
I think that's one of the things that our bridge experts will be looking at, to take down a structure and repair and keep things as minimally impacted. You're looking at a year or two, but you know, that's something we'll be closely monitoring if that's the way we go.
Kate and then Chris.
Okay, Mr. Pott, the DOJ's demand letters looking specifically at False Claims Act violations. As you're well aware, AECOM had paid over in excess of $100 million in False Claim Act violations. Given your prior role with AECOM, is it appropriate for you to be doing the bridge review at the Washington Bridge?
Just to be clear, I know that issue came up. I was in a global role working on projects across the world as a SVP for Global Transportation Innovation. Had nothing to do with the work in Rhode Island and have not been involved on this project at all.
Do you own any stock in AECOM? Did you when you became administrator?
I do. I have no financial or professional ties
All right, we're gonna
to
go to Chris,
AECOM.
then Patrick.
This one's to the governor. First, are you warm enough? You're kind of chilly right there.
Well, it's a little chilly, but I can handle it. If you can handle it, I can handle it.
Well, and then you had mentioned, trying to test new traffic patterns. Is it safe to say that the one that you tried out this weekend by DOT just wasn't the right one? And what exactly could really make traffic flow smoother? I mean, if you create more lanes or reduce less lanes, it's still bound to just create more traffic jams.
Well, I'll leave that up to DOT. I mean, we're still working on that to determine whether it improved the situation. If it improved it, we'll keep it. If it doesn't improve it, we'll go back to where we were. We'll have a chart very shortly that'll show driving times 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and we'll have that out very shortly. And as well as like the added time, the added time. Very concerned about making sure that people know what the time frame is in terms of, because it's going to impact our businesses. I was just down in Newport. They were talking about the fact that if people think it takes a lot longer to get over the bridge than it does, that's going to impact their business. We know it's happening in Providence. We know it might be happening in East Providence. So we're going to get the details of the actual time frame, and I think that you'll see that the time frame is it certainly is disruptive in many ways, especially the first 48 hours or so was really bad and incredibly difficult, but a lot of improvements have been made since then.
We're going to go to Patrick, Ian, Brian.
For the administrator, is FHWA doing its own independent investigation of what went wrong on the bridge and how it was cleared in July and then suddenly a critical failure and in danger of collapse in December?
Yeah, I think the DOJ is handling any investigations. Our role here is to work with RIDOT and the local folks to see that we get it open again. Now, we do work with states across the country on their bridge inspection program. We've asked to sort of look at all of the bridge inspections, what was done, what have we done, and we'll continue to evaluate that.
For Governor McKee, is there any update on when the engineering information will be available?
No, it's pretty much what we talked about, before the end of the month. We're expecting, I got more meetings with engineers to keep me posted on things that are happening currently in terms of the oversight, right? We have oversight coming up with the General Assembly next week. We're prepared and looking forward to having that information out. So right now, there's no new information in terms of the timeline that's already been talked about.
Governor, some people are unhappy with there not being more public transit money in your budget. What would you say to the argument that this is the right time to put more money into public transit when car transit is facing a lot of stress with the bridge?
Yeah, so there's two separate issues, and one of them would be the fact that we do have money in the budget to do an efficiency analysis on the bus transportation in the state, and I'll wait on that review until I understand what the next step should be.
Do you have any estimated cost for all of this? I think the original bridge project was somewhere around $78 million. Do you have any sense, do you have any ask into the feds in terms of how much it would cost to replace the bridge?
That's what, as the administrator said, that's what we're putting together now in the engineer reports that we're waiting on, and then we'll have an idea what that would be. But yes, there was a contract that was signed a few years back, said that that work was going to continue to the summer of 2026. So we're going to evaluate what that means and against what potentially needs to be done.
Gabrielle?
For the administrator, today marks 8 weeks since this major interstate highway was shut down. Why did it take so long to come out and actually take a look at it for yourself? And then when you were up there, what exactly did you see on the bridge today?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we've been evaluating, and our division administrator here in Rhode Island has been in daily communication with Rhode Island DOT officials since this happened in early December. I've been tracking it. The reason I came up here today is because of the transition from a repair to a potential replacement. And what we just saw up there is, I think they have 7 firms that are working to as quickly as possible, get the bridge open. Looking at just some of the different elements. There's the superstructure, which you can see there's substructure elements. As I said, there's 3 different bridges that are connected here. So this is a very complex project, and but we are bringing all of our national experts in as well, just to make sure that we have every possible set of eyes on this.
Just to follow up quickly, did you see some of the damage, some of the deterioration on the bridge? What was your reaction actually seeing that in person?
Yeah, actually, several weeks ago when the bridge was closed is when we first saw the pictures of some of the pins that had been severed, and so I've seen that. I've seen the pictures. I've looked at the damage up there, and as I said, what we want to do now is transition to getting it back open as quickly as possible.
Question over there?
Yes, if that worst case scenario becomes a reality and having to demolish the bridge, what will be those mitigation measures that will be taken, knowing that this bridge takes a lot of traffic as it is right now? Anything?
Yeah, I think the number one thing in my experience across the country is that when bridges close, communities really feel the impact. And I know the mayors of Providence and East Providence, the citizens and the constituents who live there, I'm sure are feeling all of the overflow traffic that is going through streets. It happened in Philadelphia when 995 was closed, in LA when the 405 was closed. And so our hearts go out to the people who are really bearing the impacts of this. If this does turn out to be a long-term closure with a replacement, we're going to work to make sure that we're able to mitigate those impacts as quickly as possible. And just on some of the questions for the governor around the traffic improvements, we're going to analyze every possible scenario. We're going to look at ways that we can move traffic around in the region, use our ITS signs to move. People are pretty adaptive as well. They'll figure that out. But we want to make sure that as they're figuring out their best ways around, that we're not routing them into city neighborhoods. So again, we're going to look at the entire regional approach and figure out how we get the most amount of traffic through here safely as possible.
Last question is Steve.
Director Alvini, please, after Steve.
Well, for Director Alvini or the governor, Governor, I think I heard you say it's too soon to assess how this new traffic pattern performed. Is that your estimation?
Yeah, and what I was told this, what I was told this morning, Steve, that we're just going to continue it a little longer to make that determination, and then we'll make that determination once we have enough data during a weekday time frames.
Thanks, everybody.
We were told it would be tomorrow.
For Director
It's going to be tomorrow that we'd hear the results.
We're running it today, and then we'll certainly get the information and make the determination whether it improved it or whether it was status quo.
Great,
Yep.
thank you.
Director Alvini, can you